Children, today we are going to discuss the topic maxima and minima. So maxima and minima means maximum and minimum. So if you say that y equals to fx, this is the equation of the curve y, okay, and you can see that in this particular interval a and b, the maximum value of the curve is at a and the minimum value of the curve is at b, but this is not the absolute maximum or absolute minimum, right? You can see that this value is less than this value, right? But in the interval a comma b, a and b, the maximum value is at a and minimum value is at b. So this will be called when we take a particular interval in the domain of y, then that interval, whatever the maximum value will find, that will be the local maxima, and whatever the minimum value find, that will be the local minima. It can also be defined as, we can say that if a function fx is said to have a local maxima at x equals to a, if fa is greater than any other value assumed by fx in the immediate neighborhood of x equals to a. Now what is the neighborhood of x at x equals to a? It could be x a plus h or it could be a minus h, right? Now you can see that the value of fa is greater than fa plus h and fa minus h as well, right? So these are the neighborhoods of a. So the value of fa is greater than its neighboring values, right? So then whenever this condition we find, we say that we'll be having local maxima at x equals to a. Local means in a particular interval we are talking about. Throughout the domain of y, if we discuss, that will, whatever the maximum value, that will be the absolute maxima, right? You can see that here this value is lesser than this value, but for the interval a comma b, this value will be considered as local maxima and this value will be considered that local minima, right? So when fa is greater than fa plus h and fa is greater than fa minus, and these a plus h and a minus h are the neighboring values of the function at a, right children? Note down this. Now local minima. What is local minima? You can see the local in the interval a and b, the curve has minimum value at b. There is no other value which is minimum than b. So how we are going to define that? We say that a function fx is said to have local minima at x equals to b if fb, that means the value of the function at b, is smaller than every other value assumed by fx in the immediate neighborhood of x equals to b. That means what are the neighborhoods of b? We have assumed that h is very small value tending towards 0. So the neighborhood of b will be b minus h or b plus h. So we say that when the value of the function at b, that means when fb is less than fb minus h or fb is less than fb plus h, these are the neighborhoods, immediate neighborhoods of the value of the function at b, right children? So when this happens, when the value of the function at b becomes lesser than its neighboring values, then we say that the function has local minimum value at x equals to b. Alright children, note down the definition please. Now these are the few points that we need to understand so that we could solve the sums and understand the topic more clearly. Like the first point is extremum is used for both maxima and minima, right? That means this word extremum when used, that means either this word is representing both the values, maximum values and minimum values, right? Second point is maxima and minima are also known as relative maxima and relative minima. That means either is written local maxima or written relative minima, that means the same. Next is the local maxima may be smaller than local minima. So here I have drawn a curve which is representing that the maximum value, you can see, of the function at c1 is lesser than the minimum value of the function at c2. That means the local maxima could be less than the local minima. You can see that the function at c1, the value of the function at c1 and the value of function at c2. So here c2 is having the minimum value, right? and at C1 we are getting the maximum value. So the local maxima could be lesser than local minima. Okay, this could happen. The next point is for continuous function but not constant, the maxima and minima may occur alternately. That means one after the other. One maxima, then we'll get minima, then we get maxima, like that. Alright children, note down these points please. Children, next we are going to discuss the Fermat's theorem. So this theorem states that if a function has the local maxima or local minima at x equals to a and f dash a exists, then f dash a must be 0. Now when the slope of the tangent is 0, the slope of the tangent at the point x equals to a is 0, that means that tangent is parallel to x-axis. That means this is the turning point of the curve. At this point, at the turning point, we could get maximum value, local maxima or local minima we can obtain. Right. So this theorem says that the value of the function, the derivative of the function at x equals to a 0, that means either local maximum value is lying at that point or local minimum value lying at that point. Right. Now let's discuss single derivative test for finding local maximum value or local maxima. Let's see this curve children. This curve is y equals to fx and x equals to a is a point at which if we draw tangent, this tangent is become parallel to the principal x-axis. So the slope of the tangent will be 0. That means the derivative of the curve at point x equals to a must be 0. Right. Now if you see the neighboring points, the points x a minus h and a plus h, the h value is very less, extending towards 0. So we can say that you can see that the slope of the tangent at x minus a, if you draw tangent at x minus a, the slope of the tangent is forming an acute angle with x-axis. That means the value of the derivative at x equals to a minus h is positive. Now if you draw tangent at the point x plus h here, at this point if you draw tangent a plus h, then you can see this slope of the tangent, the inclination is forming an obtuse angle with x-axis. So the slope of the tangent, this tangent will be positive. That means the derivative of the curve at point x equals to a plus h is negative and the derivative of the curve at point x equals to a minus h is positive. So whenever the derivative is sign changes from positive to negative, by single derivative test we can say that here local maximum value is lying. That means at x equals to a we are getting local maxima. Right. The derivative of the function is 0 at a. Now a could be a maximum value or could have local minimum value. So when the derivative of the function is changing sign from plus to minus, we'll be having maximum value. Right. Let's discuss here. We can say that the derivative dy by dx is 0 at x equals to a. Right. And x belongs to, when the value of x is tending from a minus h to a, the derivative is greater than 0. I have discussed that the slope of the tangent is positive here. And when the value of x is moving towards a plus h to a, then the derivative is negative. That means we have discussed the slope of the tangent is negative, right? So then we can say that at x equals to a is the point of local maxima. Right children? Please note down. Now for the local minima children, you can see this is the curve y equals to fx. At x equals to b, if we draw tangent, this tangent will become parallel to x-axis. That means b at x equals to b is the turning point of the curve. At this point, it could have local maxima or local minima. Right. Now we see that the neighboring points of b minus h and b plus h. If you draw tangent as b minus h, this tangent is forming an obtuse angle, so the slope of the tangent will be negative. And if we draw tangent as b plus h, you can see that this tangent will be inclined with x-axis and forming acute angle. So the slope of the tangent will be positive. So you can see that the slope of the tangent is changing from plus to minus as we are moving from in the like the value of x changes from b minus h to b plus h, right? As we are moving towards b plus h from b minus h, that slope is changing from negative to positive. When this happens, then we say that at x equals to b, we are getting local minimum value, right? Let's see this explanation. You can see that when x is lying between b minus h to b, the slope of the tangent or the derivative of the curve will be less than 0. When the value of x is lying between b and b plus h, the slope of the tangent is greater than 0. That means positive. So we can say that when x lying between b minus h to b plus h and dy by dx is 0 at x equals to b, that means at x equals to b must be a turning point. This means that x equals to b is the point of local minima, right? We can also say that when the derivative changes sign from negative to positive, we are getting a local minimum value at that point, right? Now children, if we are not getting, if the derivative is not changing the sign, either we are getting minus minus as we are moving, or we are getting both the plus sign, then what happens? When this condition arises, then children, there is neither maximum nor minimum values lying. So we say that, like in this statement, if f dash x does not changes its sign, then there is a point of inflection. Point of inflection means neither maximum value will get or nor a minimum value will get, right children? Note down this much first. Children, now we will discuss double derivative test. That means we will use this double derivative test to find the value of local maxima or local minima, right? So I have drawn this curve y equals to fx here, and I have taken this point x equals to a, and this x equals to a, if we find the slope of the tangent or we find the value of the derivative of the function, then we are getting the value of the derivative of the function at is 0. That means f dash a is 0, right? This shows that at x equals to a is the turning point of the curve. It means that at this point we are either getting maximum value or we are getting local minimum value, right? So what we'll do, we'll again double differentiate the function, and if we are getting the value at x equals to a, the second derivative less than 0, that means the x equals to a, we are getting local maximum value, right? And if the derivative of the function is 0 at x equals to a, then and the second derivative f double dash a is greater than 0, then we say that x equals to a, we are getting local minima. All right children, so from here we have calculated how to find the local maxima. Most of the time we will be using double derivative test to find the value of local maximum, local minima. And there is one more case arise. Suppose if we get first derivative 0 and again we differentiate at x equals to a, we put the value and we get second derivative also 0. That means whenever we get even derivative 0 and odd derivative, f triple dash x or f 5 times derivative, fifth derivative will get greater than or less than 0, then we say that we at x equals to a, we will be having point of inflection. That means there will not be maximum or minimum value existing, right? Neither maximum nor minimum if even derivative 0 and odd derivative not 0, either positive or negative we get, right children? Understood this double derivative test? Note down this please. Now let's discuss few sums children to understand the topic. In this sum it is given that fx equals to bracket 2x minus 1 to the whole square plus 3. Find the maximum and minimum value, right? We have to find all the maximum and minimum possible values of the function. So what we'll do first, we'll differentiate the function. We'll find the derivative of the function. So when we differentiate, we'll find f dash x. What we'll get? 4 bracket 2x minus 1, right? And when we equate this derivative equals to 0 to find the turning point, that means 4 into bracket 2x minus 1 equals to 0. The value of x that we'll obtained is x equals to 1 by 2, right? What we'll do, we'll again differentiate this function. We'll find the second derivative of the function. So when we do that, what we'll get? We'll get 8. 8 is the positive value. So now we can say that the second derivative of the function is greater than 0. This means that fx has minimum value at x equals to 1 by 2. We have discussed when the second derivative is positive, then the function will have minimum value at that point. If the second derivative is negative, then the function must have maximum value at that point. So for finding the minimum value, what we'll do, we'll put this x equals to 1 by 2 in the function. Then we'll get 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 minus 1. This whole will become 0 plus 3. That means equals to 3. So now we can say that the minimum value of the function at x equals to 1 by 2 is 3 and there is no maximum value lying. Alright children. Note down the solution please. Let's discuss another sum children. In this sum the question says find the maximum and minimum value of the function fx equals to x cube plus 1. Now the value of the function is given x cube plus 1. What we'll do by the double derivative test, we first differentiate the function. When we find the derivative of the function and find f dash x, the value of f dash x will be 3x square. And when we equate it with 0, we'll get the value of x is 0. Right children? Now we again differentiate, find the second derivative, we'll get 6x and the value of the second derivative as x equals to 0 is again 0. Now if we calculate the third derivative of the function, we'll get value 6 and 6 is the value which is greater than 0, positive value. So the third derivative is positive. So what we have discussed earlier, whenever we get even derivative 0 and odd derivative positive or negative, then fx, then the value of the function will be, we are getting neither maximum value or not minimum value. Or we can say that at fx we are getting point of inflection. Alright children. Point of inflection means neither we are getting maximum value nor minimum value. Note down the board please. Now children, let's see one more similar sum. Again the question is find the maximum and minimum value of the function mod of sine 4x plus 3. Right. Let's see the solution children. The value of the function is given mod of sine 4x plus 3 and we know that sine theta is a periodic function. So the value of sine 4x will also oscillate between minus 1 and 1. So from here we can say that the inequality exists also for sine 4x. That means the value of sine 4x also greater than equals to minus 1 and less than equals to plus 1. So when we had plus 3 in the inequality, what we'll get? Minus 1 plus 3 greater than equals to less than equals to sine 4x plus 3 and less than equals to plus 1 plus 3. So from here we have obtained that sine 4x plus 3 is greater than equal to 2 and less than equal to 4. Right. On taking modulus, what we'll get? Mod of sine 4x plus 3 will be greater than equals to 2 and less than equals to 4. And the value of this mod of sine 4x plus 3 is fx. So we can say that the function is greater than equals to 2 and less than equals to 4. So from the inequality we can comment that the value, minimum value of the function is 2 and the maximum value of the function is 4. Alright children, note down the solution please. Let's see another sum children. In this sum the question says find the absolute maximum and absolute minimum value of the function when the function is given as 1 by 2 minus x to the whole square plus x cube in the given interval, in the closed interval minus 2 comma 2.5. Right. So now we will be calculating absolute maximum or absolute minimum value. Let's calculate first the turning point of the curve. So by differentiating the curve, by finding the value of f dash x, we will get minus 1 plus 2x plus 3x square, the value of f dash x. And when we equate it to 0 and we factorize, we factorize this quadratic equation, and the factors that we'll get will be x plus 1 and 3x minus 1 equals to 0. Right. And when we equate the values of x, we'll get the value of x as minus 1, 1 by 3 and minus 2, comma 2.5. That means at these 4 points we could be getting maximum or minimum value. Let's calculate the values of fx at x equals to minus 1, 1 by 3, minus 2 and 2.5. So when we put x equals to minus 1 and calculate the value of f of minus 1, we'll get the value 5 by 4. When we put x equals to 1 by 3, the value of fx will be 7 by 108. We can calculate here on substituting the value for here in the function, right? X equals to 1 by 3. When we solve, we'll get the value of fx as 7 upon 108. Then x equals to minus 2 will be minus 7 by 4, and x equals to 5 by 2 will be minus plus 157 upon 8. So from the given four values, we can see that which is the minimum, absolute minimum value, and which is absolute maximum value. So this minus 7 by 4 will be the absolute minimum value, and the greatest value is 157 by 8, which is the absolute maximum value. Alright, so in this way we'll be calculating the absolute maximum and absolute minimum value. Note down the solution, please. Let's see another sum, children. Now in this sum, the question says find the turning points and also the local maximum and local minimum values. And the function is given as x cube minus 3x square plus 3x. So what we'll do first, we find the derivative of the function and equate with 0. That's what we do in every sum of maximum minima. Let's see what is the derivative of f dash x. Fx is 3x square minus 6x plus 3. When we equate it to 0 and taking 3 common, this will become x square minus 2x plus 1 in bracket equals to 0. When 3 cross multiplied, it will become 0. And this is what written? This is written formula of x minus 1 to the whole square. And when we equate it to 0, we'll get the value of x as 1. Now children, pay attention, we are applying single derivative test here. Suppose the value of x is slightly less than 1. Right? When the value of x is slightly less than 1. That means x minus 1 will be negative, and x minus 1 when negative, and the square of negative will become positive. So the derivative of the function when x is less than 1, slightly less than 1 is positive. Say when x is slightly greater than 1, so bigger value minus smaller value is always positive value, and positive square is always positive. So when x is slightly greater than 1, the value of f dash x is greater than 0. So again positive value we are getting. So that means the derivative is not, the sign of the derivative is not changing. Right? Single derivative test says when it is changing from minus to plus. That means we are getting a maximum value, and when plus to minus we are getting a minimum value, right? That's what is a single derivative says. So here we are getting no change of the sign of derivative. That means that fx is neither maximum nor minimum at x equals to 1. So hence we can say that fx has point of inflection at x equals to 1. So what is that point? If you put x equals to 1 here, we'll get 1 cube minus 3 into 1 square plus 3 into 1. We'll get the value as 1. So the point of inflection will be 1, 1. Alright children, note down the board and do all the work in your fair notebooks.